backing of the United States of America. President Donald Trump has now given a diplomatic recognition for the Biafran people. For us to have at Popular Square on May 31st, 2025. We are here at Popular Square to express our sovereignty on this land, the Biafran people. And the reason why we are here because Biafra has acquired and received the diplomatic power and backing of the United States of America. President Donald Trump has now given a diplomatic recognition for the Biafran people, for us to have our independence, to end the ongoing killings of Biafrans every day by Fulani herdsmen. And our government have not done anything to stop the killings of Biafrans every day by the people that we have nothing in common with. That's why today the tension of our general meeting today at Popular Square is that this is the Republic of Biafra, and we are the wandering Jews of West Africa. That's what we are. We are the wandering Jews of West Africa. And therefore we have the power of America and Israel to regain our independence, to be a people that will decide their own future, without our people being killed and massacred by the Fulani terrorists, Fulani herdsmen. That's what today we are at Popular Square, backed up by the United States of America. And we say to President Trump, thank you that you are supporting Biafra now to regain our independence. And I also congratulate all Biafrans that yesterday, being May 30th, was 58 years anniversary of the independence of the Republic of Biafra.
You see why Swart was sent on the 18th of July 2025 by Donald Trump.
Okay, finally, we've seen Donald Trump, the president of America and possibly the president of the world, appoint Swart as the U.S. ambassador to Biafra. And this has caused a lot of panic in Asorock presently. It's as if with what we are getting, Trump is finally moving to recognize Biafra fully. And at the same time, Swart will be the mediator between Biafra and Nigeria in terms of what? Investment and trade. The ambassador to Biafra. What's your take as regards Swart assuming this position by Trump?
Yeah, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, good night, wherever you are watching us from. I remember humble Sir Benjamin Johnson S.S. Nachi, aka the Biafran evangelist. Now, so far so good. I've told you people before initially that in a way that Donald Trump is supporting Biafra, and that is why he allowed people like Ngozi Oraveze, people like the Biafrans, to have their freedom and their access and the embassy, even in the Washington, D.C. And when you make mention of America, you are talking about what? America, Washington, D.C. You are talking about America. That is their capital. You understand? Earlier said, which I told you people that Donald Trump, in a way, is in support of Biafra. But people do not actually believe on what I'm saying. But glory be to God, you can see it today, that the Washington, D.C. have accommodated the Biafran embassy and under the watch of Donald Trump. And by tomorrow, you will be seeing another Biafran, massive protest. You understand? And this man you are seeing here, this ambassador that Donald Trump have sent in person of Swart, is person that he have sent on the 18th, if I'm not mistaken, 18th of July 2025, to come down and see the affairs. You understand? The affairs of Biafra, the relationship, how it will go, the business will run between Biafra and America. That is the major thing, the major aim. And at the same time, I see it that Trump want to use this opportunity to look inward inside Nigeria. That is why he tagged that South, 17 states South. You understand? So that they can, Swart can equally look into the other side, not just only like Biafra now, but the major aim was Biafra. But on the other side, to look in, to know, then he can give him a report. In terms, you know that Donald Trump is a businessman. Do you understand? He's a businessman. But the major aim was Biafra. Because he has earlier said to let Muhammadu Buhari that you are killing the Christians in Nigeria. Stop it. And mostly, when you mention Christians, you believe that it is the South that are Christians in Nigeria. They believe that North are only Muslims. Do you understand? That's the belief of the people. Are you hearing me? So that is why the Swart was sent to Biafra. And let me tell you, this man has been an ambassador for this purpose for a very long time. There was a time he was sent either in Niger, a country, in African country like that, for this kind of issues to have a trade business, information, relationship between. I want to be vividly remember the country in Africa where this man has served America, in either Chad or thereabout. Are you getting it? Chad. Before coming to Biafra now. That is to tell you that this is a real business person, and not just only by business. So, because you know when you make mention of business, people will not take it, will think this one just want to. It's not coming, it's to suck Biafra, but it's coming to gather information based on the factors on the ground so that they can give a concrete information to the US government. Remember, in the court of Mazen Nnamdi Kanu, that they sent a delegate who came to the court to gather information as well, that report back to them. So this one, in terms of economy, he came so that they can look to find out if what we, the Biafrans, are talking about in terms of our business, in terms of economy, in terms of the resources that God has blessed Biafra with. Are you hearing me? So that they can be vividly sure of what God has blessed Biafrans with. You see why he sent him as a businessman. You understand? So that he will now know how to come and partner with Biafra. Remember, currently as we speak now, the world like Russia, even America today, as we speak, are putting their eyes. Even in Israel, they are putting their eyes now in Africa. And that Africa, they are particularizing it on what? On Nigeria. Biafra, to be precise. You understand? That is why, you remember, was it not 2 months ago? Is it 2 months or 3 months ago that Netanyahu said that he will be coming to Africa, Nigeria to be precise, to Christian side of Nigeria, and there is no other place than the Biafran. And let me tell you, you know, in time to come, Africa is going to emerge as one of the strongest continents in the world. So them, the strong men now, the world leaders now, are looking for a way to take part so that they can participate and enjoy that time when the time comes. Because they know, look at what is happening now. What is it called? France now is losing immensely in Africa. Their face now is washing off from Africa. It's no longer standing. The French are no longer standing strong in Africa. Their legs now is seriously shaking in Africa. I don't know whether you are getting my point, but that is why you see others trying to use the advantage to gain this Africa for future purpose. You see why Swart was sent on the 18th of July 2025 by Donald Trump. Do you understand me? So that is why I am telling you that I've been saying it time without number, that Biafra is non-negotiable. Biafra will continue, and Biafra will stand, and Biafra will come to pass. Because it has gone beyond what Nigeria can do, what can manage, nor control.
Do you think that it's because of former lobbyist to Nnamdi Kanu really is directly involved in Trump government? That's why Biafra is getting all these goodies, all these good goodwill gesture that are getting from Trump? Do you think that because of Susie Willie is a friend to possibly Orabueze and at the same time have worked with Nnamdi Kanu, do you think that's why Biafra are getting what they are getting now?
Yes, that should be number one. And number two, Donald Trump is a Christian and a law protecting Christians under his watch. You understand? And there is a viral news that has gone very viral to the world that the Christians in Nigeria are facing daily killings, daily deaths. You understand? By the Fulanis, the Islamic continent in Nigeria. Are you getting it? Even what happened in Zamfara yesterday, 100 of them was killed in Zamfara yesterday. So if you watch this, you will agree with me that Susie Willie, as you said, yes, is playing her own role too. And Donald Trump is playing it as a result of him being a Christian and him hates the killings that is going on in Nigeria, especially the Christians. You understand? You see why Donald Trump is doing what he's doing to make sure that he safeguards the Christians, the Christian beings in Nigeria. Not just only Nigeria, in Biafra to be precise, and Africa, in the entire world. If you go to outside the country, you will see the impact. Look at the game between Iran and Israel. See how, the way he supported Israel to make sure that he stopped the wicked leaders that is ruling Iran. You understand? And which people did not actually understand that fight was the fight of the world, not just by country Israel alone. It's for the safety of the people in the world. Because if a man were to be allowed to enrich, they can wake up and end, including America, may not be safe. You understand? So, and Donald Trump like life, he value life, and life of his own people, not just other, but the life of his own people too, that could be at risk when the time comes. You see, so that is why anything whenever he hears about killing or touching of Christians, he always want to involve himself and to stop it. And now, so far so good, I give God the glory for what God is doing, because now the Biafrans, with the respect of the COS, that is the Chief of Staff of America, Susie Willie, and she lobbied with Mazen Nnamdi Kanu before, and the relationship that they had to Ngozi Orabueze. Thank God Ngozi Orabueze did not end there. She did not join others to do what they have done, to commit the rubbish that they have committed, to collect bribe and betray themselves. She pushed it on, and today you are seeing the results. And God will bless her, which by tomorrow you are going to see a very serious mass. Are you hearing me? By tomorrow you are going to see a very serious, massive protest in Washington, D.C., which they will march from Washington, D.C. down to the White House. You understand? And I believe all these things are paving ways to the success and to the freedom of Biafrans. Especially, remember, Mazen Nnamdi Kanu is in detention because of this Biafran issue. Illegally rendition. Simon Ekpan illegally arrested. Are you getting it? Forcefully arrested as a result of what? This Biafra issue. Which, as we speak now, the Finnish government have finally agreed that the information that they got from Nigeria was a false. Are you getting it? It was not true. Both to Bianca, later Nigerian, CDS Musa, and co, all that they have cooked against Simon Ekpan was not true with the Pitamba. That is why what is happening, and it continues happening, which our PM, Simon Ekpan, and Mazen Nnamdi Kanu. Let's watch from now till September. You will see another positive news about the PM. Then before the year runs out, in Nigeria, you will see the other side in the angle of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, because the heat is coming from America to Nigeria.
Okay, but when Prophet Ginla come out and said that it's our time Tinubu drop the gun and negotiate with Nnamdi Kanu, that the ideology of Biafra cannot be killed. With what is going on now, that everybody, even the Nigerian government, can see that the recognition of Biafra is becoming much louder
Globally.
and bigger. Do you think it's our time Tinubu negotiate with Nnamdi Kanu? You think that is it possible that Nnamdi Kanu and the Biafrans will accept negotiation to finally kill the Biafra dream?
Yes. That would have been the step at initial ground. And even that they took that step as at that time, it would have been the best. But as it stands now, no negotiable. Are you getting it? No more negotiation. Because they have failed to do it. And the way they handle it has proven to us that of a truth, the only option is to do what? Exit Nigeria completely. So coming now to say Nigeria should come to negotiate with Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. Mazi Nnamdi Kanu can never negotiate to drop agitation. Take note of this. Neither can Simon Ekpan negotiate to drop this agitation. It has gone beyond what they can tolerate. Because the marginalization, imagine somebody like them are facing court trial. But the people that are moving from one state, one community, one village to the other, killing pastors, killing priests, killing people, vandalizing people's home, raping and co, are working freely in Nigeria. Then you expect me to swallow that maltreatment? It cannot be swallowed. They have said it, they have entered it. We have entered it, we are going into it, we are not going back. We must achieve it. And let me tell you, that's one of the things that still keep Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, because he has refused to drop the agitation. I don't know if you're getting it. Because see, do you know why he refused to drop this agitation? The reason is this: Nigeria is no longer being trusted, and they can never be trusted again. Nigerian politics, Nigerian politicians, Nigerian citizens, Nigerian people, Nigerian leaders can never be trusted again. So far so good. Let everybody go again their ways. Nothing like negotiation again.
The Chief of Staff of the Biafra Republic government in exile, Dr. Ngozi Orubueze, has convened an emergency Zoom meeting with cabinet members to address this situation. During the meeting, the European representative of the Biafra government in exile, Mazi Uche, provided background information on the issue before handing the floor to Dr. Orubueze. Dr. Orubueze stated that despite these developments, the cabinet remains committed to continuing the programs initiated by the Prime Minister. She alleged that the Nigerian government has collaborated with Finnish authorities in an effort to disrupt the upcoming Biafra Declaration Convention scheduled for the coming days. According to Dr. Orubueze, this situation arose from individuals reporting Mazi Simon Ekpa's activities to Finnish officials. She encouraged Biafrans to remain steadfast and to write to Finnish authorities to present the case for Biafra's restoration. Dr. Orubueze assured supporters that the Prime Minister would address the nation soon and emphasized that the convention will proceed as planned.
In international news, the Chief of Staff of the Biafra Republic government in exile, Dr. Ngozi Orubueze, was recently recognized by the International Women's Peace Group, IWPG, in South Korea. This honor was shared in IWPG's October newsletter, highlighting Dr. Orubueze's role and contributions to peace initiatives. Dr. Orubueze described the recognition as a pivotal moment, emphasizing that it's a step forward in gaining international awareness for Biafra's pursuit of independence. As clearly stated in the newsletter, she underscored the influential role of women in fostering peace and understanding, noting, "Women are vital agents of change. As the foundation of any society, they bring essential qualities of patience, empathy, and nurturing that are critical in peace building."
We have yet another horrific massacre against Christians in Nigeria to report on. 27 people, including a 3-year-old girl, have been killed in the most barbaric of ways. Masara Kim, a reporter for Truth Nigeria, joins us now. Masara, what can you tell us about this absolutely barbaric atrocity?
Yeah, so on the in the early hours of yesterday, that's July the 14th, a group of terrorists shouting Allahu Akbar on a long convoy of motorcycles, estimated by locals to be between 30 to 40, swarmed the peaceful town of Bindi, located about 35 miles southwest of Jos, the capital of Plateau State, killing at least at the moment 27 people that have been identified, majority of whom were burned alive in their homes, including a 3-month-old baby and a 3-year-old baby. In my report for Truth Nigeria, I mentioned the 3-year-old victim without realizing that as I left, the body of a 3-month-old baby was also identified, and the search has continued with many more members of the community, many more residents still unaccounted for at the moment.
Burned alive? What do you mean? They were trapped in their house? I mean, what exactly? Oh, I don't even. Oh. As a father, this is disgusting. But what can you tell us about that detail? Burned alive. What do you mean?
Yeah, so these terrorists swarmed communities, broke into homes, and literally poured gas. They poured fuel on the sleeping residents and set the houses on fire. I mean, a local pastor who spoke to us, I shared his photo with you, said he was hiding in a gold room just within his compound of 2 brick buildings when they broke into his flats, where 9 members of his family were sleeping, and he could literally hear them screaming and shouting for help, but absolutely no one could come to their help, because the terrorists, more than 30 of them, had swarmed the compound. Some of them had gone into the rooms where these innocent residents were sleeping, and they had literally poured fuel on them and set the house on fire. So he could literally hear them screaming on top of their voices and shouting for help, but definitely no one came to their help until they could no longer scream, they could no longer breathe. And in fact, when I got to that compound earlier at sunrise yesterday, the bodies of these victims were still smoking. You know, the houses were still burning and their bodies were still smoking. And many of the videos that I've shared with you might not be good for the screen, but I mean, it's important to understand the horrifying nature of these attacks, which, by the way, follow a pattern of violence by these terrorists who have killed more than 1,000 people in the last 10 months. Just in Plateau State alone. Genocide deniers, again, would like to say that no, this is just another instance of sedentary farmers clashing with semi-nomadic herders who happen to be members of the Fulani ethnicity. But no, this attack happened and started from 3 a.m. and lasted up to 5 a.m. Nobody was in their farm. Nobody was clashing with anybody. Nobody was, in fact, these innocent babies and women and children that were hacked down and burned alive on their beds. They were nowhere at a place where, that qualifies as a battleground or battlefield, that, one can say, oh yes, this was a clash. And even if there is anything like a clash going on, what clash happens at that time of the night? And in fact, it was these terrorists who came to the residence of these Christians, and then they hacked down and burnt several people, including innocent babies, who, by the way, don't even have any understanding of any situation whatsoever. Neither do they have any strength and even the charisma, the strength to carry any weapon and go into battle. So, of course, this is just pure genocide, targeting chiefly and exclusively Christians, whether you are a genuine Christian or not, as long as you identify as a Christian, you are slaughtered. And this pastor that I mentioned, by the way, said he heard them celebrate, shouting Allahu Akbar, saying to themselves in the Hausa dialect, we have conquered the infidels. We have conquered the infidels as they broke down the door of the church, which faces the compound, and smashed musical instruments, smashed Bibles, smashed the pulpit, smashed chairs and everything else that they could find, while celebrating their victory against who? Against the Christians. They went through and passed several Fulani and Muslim communities and did nothing to them. But when they got to this Christian community, they massacred people and retreated unchallenged into the surrounding mountains. And as I speak with you, residents still tell us that they could still see signs of these terrorists lurking around, possibly planning another attack.
Masara, I so admire your passion for this subject, and I hope we're doing a good job of telling this story. You know, unfortunately, we've told this story so many times. You know, this keeps happening. And that's the really frustrating part is, you know, this isn't a war where a bomb gets dropped and, you know, there's civilian casualties. This is systematic extermination. And I mean, using machetes to hack people to death, set people on fire using gasoline. This is ethnic cleansing. This is genocide at the most, this is the definition of that. And I know I'm getting frustrated. You're frustrated. I'm sure people watching this are frustrated. There's just crickets in the world. I mean, maybe someone will say something every once in a while, but you know, it's for the most part, this story gets ignored. Again, I pray that we don't have to do another story like this, but I'm sure we will. But Masara, in closing, again, you've done this a time and time and time again. I can feel your frustration. I share it, my brother.
Absolutely.
What do you want the West to do? What do you want the United States to do?
The same energy that has been applied on the Iran-Israel war, the same energy that is being applied on the Ukraine-Russian war should be applied on the Islamic jihadist terrorist attacks on Christians in Nigeria. The plan is to annihilate the Christian populations and take over Africa's